Hallie in that book, Cowboy Wills, and she's in it. She's mentioned 4 times exactly, and I know that because I took out about 28 other times, and stories about Cowboy and Hallie. And so this is Hallie's Day in the Sun.
Okay.
Party girl. 13 years ago, when Hallie was our only dog, she was still very much at the party. A wallflower, to be sure, but always within sight. She loved being home and saw the world mostly through the car window, preferring long rides, sitting on my lap as I drove, her paws poised on the windowsill, eyes squinting into the wind. When I became pregnant with my son Wills, I was so nauseous that I spent every morning and evening lying on the cool bathroom tiles close to the toilet, hugging the toilet, actually. Hallie always lay down beside me, carefully placing her soft black chin against my cheek. It was stifling hot, but she could sense that I needed her, and that's what she could give. So we laid there, sometimes for hours, the side of my face sweaty and draped in fur. When baby Wills finally came home from the hospital, Hallie was very confused by the new person in her pack. But when she realized that he was there to stay, she went on high alert. Her job, she decided, was to protect both baby and mother. So, while I sat in the antique rocker nursing Wills, Hallie would sit on my feet, facing out, keeping watch in all directions. No offer of food or rubber balls could budge her from her post. Same as the pregnancy, the nursing made me so hot. And with her heavy coat of hair draped on my feet, I felt like I might actually spontaneously combust. But it was such a tender gesture, right? Such a great moment. Such a comfort to have her there. Would I ever ask her to leave? I could never. I'm going to skip ahead. Hallie shielded us. That was her job, especially when it came to Wills as he got older. There was a deep love between them, but it was as if Hallie were a protective aunt. Standoffish, but fiercely protective. And in January, when Hallie turned a ripe old age of 16, Wills returned the favor. On a chilly Saturday afternoon, he and Hallie were walking toward the shallow end of our pool. I was on the patio closer to the house, but watching them go. As they started around the deep end, Wills accidentally knocked against Hallie, and she fell into the pool. Well, Hallie had always been an excellent swimmer, but hadn't been in the water for over 6 years, which I hadn't realized. She sank like a stone. Her back legs were not agile enough to push her up to the top, and her front paws were equally unreliable. Well, I ran toward the pool, panicked as I could be. But I didn't need to. Wills, my autistic boy, who was anything but spontaneous, who usually refused to swim unless he was wearing goggles that covered both his nose and his eyes, and who was fastidious about not getting his clothes wet, instantaneously leaped into the water wearing sweatpants, a hooded sweatshirt, and a pair of fleece Ugg boots. He even had on his beloved Mets cap, a gift given to him by his late grandfather and something that he just deeply cherished. By the time they'd made their way to the side of the pool, Hallie's head was above the water, and Wills was swimming them both to safety. Wills's Mets cap was now lying at the bottom of the deep end, and I hurried to meet them at the steps. Wills, my gosh, I can't believe it. She went right under, and she could always swim, and I'm so sorry. And he stopped me. She can't swim. He sputtered, water coming out of his nose and mouth. Did you see that? She can't swim. I said, you saved her life, Wills. I could barely speak. It was only a whisper coming out. I lifted first Hallie and then Wills out of the pool. You saved Hallie's life. I wiped his face with the bottom of my t-shirt and cradled a wet and shaky Hallie in my arms. It's lucky I was here, he said, suddenly smiling. Yes, honey, it was so lucky you were here, slipping one of my arms around his waist. Well, I weigh about 50 pounds more now with all this water, he said, heading toward the house, squishing pools of water onto the tiles. I stood for a second, imagining both of them at the bottom of the pool, struggling. Would I have been strong enough? Could I have saved them both? It didn't matter. Well, Wills loved to be in the pool, but he wasn't the best swimmer, you know? But that's not what happened. So, let's get you inside, I said, lifting up Hallie. After wrapping Hallie in a beach towel, I put Wills right into a hot shower, his pajamas lying in the on the bathroom counter. Hallie was so thin with her wavy hair stuck to her body that I happily held her on my lap and waited for Wills. That night, I asked Wills, could I call some of our friends and tell them that you're a hero? He didn't know what to think. Yes, he said, I think that you should. He smiled and leaned against me on the couch, listening as I told the story over and over and over again. Thank you.
Woo.